Why do I personally like PRS guitars so much? Let's find out. I quite frequently get asked why I like PRS guitars and why I always use them in my videos. So I thought I would answer that question because there are quite a few reasons why I like these guitars. So, answer number one is the way they feel. So what normally happens when I go to buy a new guitar, I think to myself, I'm going to try a different brand this time. So I'll go into a guitar shop and I'll play 5 or 6 different guitars, and then I pick up a PRS, and just the neck and the feel and how it sits comfortably on my body, I mean, it's literally perfect. It's balanced. There's no neck dive on any of my guitars, but it's normally the neck. As soon as I start playing it, it just feels right in my hand. So I know that everybody is different. Some people, you know, a Jackson guitar will feel right, or a Fender guitar will feel right. I've got a couple of Fenders that I do love. However, there's something about the feel whenever I pick up a PRS that just feels right to me. And obviously that's completely subjective and other people are different, but for me, as soon as I start playing it, it feels like I'm playing the guitar that I'm supposed to be playing. Next up is the way they look. I mean, if you look at that, have you ever seen anything more sexy than those things? Sometimes you just walk in and you see one of these guitars and you are literally like, oh my god, look at that. And that's what happens. So I try and avoid buying a guitar based on looks, but that is pretty damn sexy, isn't it? So next up is tuning stability. So this guitar, I've not played it for about 2 weeks. It's been in its case for a couple of weeks. I've just taken it out. Perfectly in tune. And when I'm gigging, one thing that really annoys me is guitars that go out of tune all the time. So this one, I sometimes take it out of the case, strum a chord, it's in tune, I play it for the whole gig and I haven't needed to tune one string on it. It never goes out of tune, nor do my other PRS guitars. They just stay in tune, and you're not spending half the gig in between songs quickly pushing down your tuner, getting it in tune while the rest of the band are waiting for you. They literally turn up. You might have to tune it when you get there, but sometimes you don't even need to do that. But tuning stability is one of the reasons that I love these guitars. So next up is versatility. So this guitar here, I've used this for multiple black metal, death metal videos, but I've also used it in function gigs, playing everything from the Beatles to Chic to James Brown songs to Dusty Springfield. It does everything. So versatility as well. So I always take 2 guitars to a gig in case something happens to one of them, but you can literally take this out, play a 2-hour set with it, and you can cover everything. Same with the others. So that's one of the other reasons that I love them. They're just really versatile. Next up for me is consistency. So I've owned a lot of Gibsons, and some of them played great, but again, they never stayed in tune. Some of them didn't play so great. I've owned quite a lot of Fenders. Sometimes you'll order a Fender online because you fall in love with the way it looks, and it comes and it sounds great, but the neck doesn't feel right and it just doesn't play the way you thought it was going to play. Also, other guitar brands, you know, they don't seem to be as consistent, whereas you buy a PRS and you know that it's going to play right, it's going to stay in tune, the neck's going to feel right, the action's going to be good, the pickups are going to be good. They're just consistently good. So I know that I could just buy a PRS online and not have any worries about it, whereas if I buy other brands, I do often find when they turn up there's issues, or there's just something about it I don't like, whereas I don't find that with these. Next up is cost. So if you compare, for example, a PRS SE, you've got versatility, consistency, tuning stability, and it'll probably cost you the same as a Mexican Fender. If you get one of the S2s, which are the ones that I seem to gravitate to quite a lot, then the cost on that is around the same as a second-hand, like an American Fender, and again you get the consistency and all the other benefits. The core models obviously are pretty expensive, however if you compare them to the cost of a custom shop, like a custom shop Fender, it's in the same sort of ballpark. I mean, Fender are great guitars, but I do find you have to try a few to find one that you really like, where with these the cost is reasonable and you get a lot of guitar for your money. So that pretty much sums it up for me. So feel and balance, looks, playability, tone, versatility, cost and consistency, and that is why I like playing PRS guitars. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you later.